It would seem as though.
Hi.
It's me.
And a frosty good morning to you.
I know, real
It
frosty.
is freaking cold.
It is very
It is so cold
yeah.
this morning.
I know.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of It Would Seem As Though, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing.
Mostly nothing.
You know, I'm Vesta.
I'm the ghost of Christmas past. Ooh, Anita.
No, what you are is a college graduate.
Girl, yesterday was officially graduation day.
I know.
So now she's credentialed.
I do feel a little embarrassed that you graduated only with a 4.1,
I know.
whatever it is.
Yeah, I know.
4.125. 4.15.
Yeah, it's a big
Dumb.
deal. I know. She's
Why are you so
stupid.
dumb?
She's really dumb. I know. So yeah, it is crazy. It feels surreal. Randomly, I'll just say it out loud because, it's only been a day, but it's someplace it felt like a pipe dream. It just felt like one of those things that, I'll work towards it, but we'll see.
Is that
if
a
it ever
dream you
happens.
have when you're smoking a pipe?
Well then, girl, that's my whole life.
A pipe dream.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy to be, to be first generation, to have 2 degrees, to have been so successful in college. And, it's not...
And to be published.
And to, have published research, which is really exciting. I'm really excited about all of it. So it is weird. I'm just, marinating in that feeling, letting it just be. I have no plans to do literally anything else for a while. It's the holiday season. December, I'm doing what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is crazy, and it's not like I came from a really good, upbringing that would have fostered, you know what I mean?
No.
And I say this a lot, a lot of kids who go to college have somebody who also went to college, an adult in their life, a parent, an aunt, uncle, somebody who could have helped them navigate it a little better. And I didn't really have anybody. Do you know what I mean? I didn't really have anybody who went to a university. And so it's like when I went to San Francisco, it was all on a whim, and I was really silly about it, monetarily speaking, and not sticking it out, whatever, and not just planning for it, but I didn't have anybody. And so what my point is to get to this point and to be graduated, and there's potential for grad school on the horizon. It's really, I feel very accomplished. I feel very proud of myself.
Yeah.
Well,
and you should.
Yeah, so graduation.
Yay.
All done.
Congrats.
Thank you. Except, remember how my final grade, I was waiting for this one final fucking grade, and graduation was yesterday. And so Friday, I was all, okay, they have to publish it today. No, they didn't. No, and my professor didn't even post one of my assignment grades. And I said, I graduate on Monday, and it's Friday. But I waited. No one had gotten their grade yet. So I said, it better show up fucking Monday. And it did. But after graduation had already started.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me, but I know for you, at least specifically, that you already knew, no matter what the grade was on that last assignment, you were graduating because you already had 100% in your class.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Even had you, by some fluke, done poorly on that, you'd have still graduated. So
I did the math. If I had gotten a 0 on my final paper, I would have graduated with an 80, or I would have had that 85, a B. I would have a solid B, which is still great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no.
But I also know you, and graduating with a B, not really up your alley. You're an A student.
Well, and here's the thing. And here's the trickery we talked about earlier, is I do technically have a B on my report card, on my transcripts. I have an 80.
One.
Yeah, I have an 89.64 or whatever in the advanced sign language class I took. But because in several classes I had over 100%, it all balanced out, which brought me back to just a 4-point average. Yesterday I was making lunch and playing games with Grace and whatever, hanging out with Gavin all day, and I was wearing all of my cords that I had acquired for here's for Phi Beta Kappa and here's for Summa Cum Laude, so just wearing all my cords like you would wear at graduation.
Sure.
Just around my house.
Just around the house.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you're all, look at me.
I'm educated.
Yeah.
She's educated.
She is educated. She's a smarty pants.
Yeah.
And that's something I've been talking about for years and years. Anybody who'll listen is like, she's a genius.
Genius. Thank you.
I know. Because I don't, and as we just, I don't know where he got it.
Yeah, girl.
There are no genius jeans that I know of.
No.
There are know-it-all jeans all over the place.
Girl.
But genius?
And those are out of style. Those jeans.
Oh, girl.
Know-it-all jeans, girl.
I think they're right up there with, like, mom jeans.
Oof,
and,
hate them.
Yeah.
Do you know mom jeans have made a comeback?
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
I know.
And I said, never would I ever, because I just instantly look like frumpy. And I didn't know I could look frumpy, but put on mom jeans and I'm like, oh, you guys want some pizza bagels?
Do I drive you to soccer now?
I know, right?
I just, when you said that, it made me think of Mark Connor.
Okay.
Who gave me his theory on why people, young men specifically, wear their jeans so low or their pants so low that they're sagging and you see their underwear and whatever. He said, because gradually as you get older, they just start coming up higher and higher until you're an old man and they're right up under your tits.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So if you sag...
They just gradually... You know,
if you sag, you need to sag earlier so they're not so high by the time you're old.
Right.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing old men with him and he's like, that's what's happening there.
That is crazy to me. What's crazy to me is like that older generation of men, like, I get it. Wear a higher waisted pant. I love it. Tuck in your shirt. I love it. But baby, you don't have to rip them jeans up your crotch. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I want to know how long the crotch is on those pants that you can wear them that high and not castrate yourself.
Well, and also, that's the thing. Maybe back in the day, there were a lot more higher-waisted jeans for men, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
But now, not every cut of pants or jeans or whatever is the same, right? So you're putting on some mid-rise, something that's not supposed to be a high-rise, and you're making it a high-rise, babe. So I can see all your chicken giblets, and I don't want to.
No.
Do you know? Listen here, Grandpa. Thanks a lot, but could you wear pants that fit, or just wear sweats?
Right. I don't want to see all the bits and pieces.
No, if you're an old man, wear sweats. I'm into it. Wear sweats. That's fine with me. I don't need you.
But still, don't pull them up to your tits.
No, but at least to get some harem pants, then you can.
There you go.
And girl, you ain't gonna see nothing.
You can be like your Auntie Viv and put on some harem pants because you know that girl loves a harem pant.
Girl, let me tell you. But if you just pull up a harem pant.
It's a dress.
It's a dress. But then the pants might fit.
Yeah.
regularly. You know what I mean? Because that
drop crotch.
Well,
the drop crotch.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if an old man pulls it up over his head...
I was given my cousin Anne, who I adore. Who,
thanks for the Christmas
by the way,
card.
thank you, for the Christmas card and the chocolate. If anybody
yes.
else wants to fangirl over us and give us chocolate or money or whatever,
if you want to give
we'll
me
take it.
gifts, I graduated, so you should send me something.
Yes.
Love, devotion,
anyway,
monetary.
but she gave me this outfit, because she often will pass on clothes to me that she'll buy, and either she doesn't like how they look or whatever.
Yeah, I get that.
So she gave me this jacket and a pair of pants.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not sure who the pants were made for. Because I put them on... I'm average height for a woman. I'm 5'8".
Is that average?
So I think I'm a little taller than average, maybe.
Yeah.
But I know when I was younger, that wasn't average.
Okay.
But maybe it is now. Anyhow, I put them on, and there's at least 8 inches of pant below my feet.
Wow.
Is this for a 9-foot tall woman?
Well, because big and tall, that's what they usually
tall,
do.
Though. Jesus,
right?
God. I don't know anyone that tall.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, that's crazy. And so I literally was just pulling them up. Yep. And I was like, I could get them up over my tits, and they still were not.
Let me tell you what. Could you imagine that fucking strapless pantsuit that you're
It's all the rage.
I hate it.
Well, actually, what I thought about doing is cutting the crotch out and sewing it together so it'd be like a dress.
Oh, love that.
And then it would be the right length.
Yeah, I love that.
And then I could wear it with the jacket she gave me.
Oh, do you like the jacket at least?
Not on its own.
Okay.
It looks like pajamas to me.
So that's weird. Well, I hope you're not just going out wearing just a jacket, because that's weird.
I've been running around just wearing this thin, flimsy jacket, nothing else.
Nothing else.
Is that not right?
No. But talking about clothing, often, for the longest time, and they get better about it now because I'm a tall bitch, right?
Yeah.
So often finding clothes that are for tall but not like thicker people was a challenge. So, and I remember men used to complain about this too, going to Big and Tall, like that store.
Yeah.
Because they would be tall but not big people.
Right.
And so their clothes would just be a giant square of fabric.
Yes.
Being like, here it is. Like, this is what you get. But also, I'm preaching to the choir about like larger women finding clothes that fit appropriately and aren't just muumuus. You know what I mean?
Well, and it used to be, so when I was young, all of the fat women that I knew, that was it. You got to wear a house dress, a muumuu, a caftan. You know, it was like, is there nothing?
I love a good caftan.
Well, sure, but when that's your only option, you know, because one of my friends, God rest her soul, I loved her to bits and pieces. She always, because she was a big woman, every time I saw her, it was always in some sort of like shapeless, you know, house dress, because that's all that she could get. Because there was no Lane Bryant or, you know, Torrid or whatever. And so now there's lots of options.
Well, and, you know, there's this whole push. I know this isn't at all what we're talking about. But there's this whole push to, like, recycle fabric and don't buy fast fashion like Old Navy, H&M, whatever. Because it's just killing our planet faster and uses a lot of water and pollution, whatever. And so a lot of people are pushing towards thrifting. And Portland is a hot, you know, it's a hot spot for it.
Oh, yeah. Because there's lots of thrifting.
I almost said hot mine, mixing hot spot and gold mine together. It's a hot mine. Ooh, it's hot in here. Ew, gross. But they're everywhere. And so people thrift a lot. But that's also, like, you can't tell, like, fatter people to go thrift because you think that they were making clothes up until recently, they didn't really make clothes for bigger people. You know what I mean? So, like, telling a bigger person to go thrift, go to Buffalo Exchange, go to wherever, go to even Goodwill. Sometimes that's like, how dare you?
Well, I'm also going to tell you that places like Buffalo Exchange, as a rule, don't take bigger clothes.
No,
No, they want to just buy the little fashion things for the little girls who, you know, are going to come in, and the hipster boys.
I do wonder how that's changed. Just because the conversation of body image and the conversation of bodies in general has changed so much. And I just wonder. I haven't thrifted in a long time.
I haven't either, but, you know, there is, of course, now, there are a lot of women of size who, you know, are like, yes, this is my body, and I'm not going to apologize for my body. I like my body. If you don't like it, fuck off. That's okay. You don't have to. But this is me, so I also deserve to have nice things.
Agreed.
To have things that are cute and fashionable and whatever, not looking like I'm wearing my grandma's hand-me-downs.
Well, and that's why I love when designers, like, dress, you know, people who maybe don't have the same body shape as, like they dress trans women, or they dress fat women, or they dress effeminate men, or whatever it is, you know. That, you know, dressing them to their body opposed to them trying to put something on that wasn't made for their body. I love that, though. Like, I love when it happens. Granted, it should happen more and more. But still, it's...
Well, the first time Leslie Jones was on the red carpet, nobody wanted to dress her. Because they're like, no, because you're not thin and you're really tall and whatever. And probably it might even been because, you know, she's a dark black woman. You know, it's like, who knows? But she's not, you know, this cute little feminine twig of a woman. And Christian Siriano was like, I will dress you. I want to dress you.
I love to.
Because I love you and you're awesome. And everybody should look good on the red carpet.
Agreed. I love him. Them. I don't know what their pronouns are. Okay.
But he is about 2 feet tall.
Roughly. He's a Keebler elf.
He absolutely is. He lives in a tree.
He's not making cookies. He's making avant-garde clothing.
He absolutely is. He's fantastic.
His father was really mad that he didn't want to carry on the family name of Keebler.
Right, so he changed it to Siriano.
He moved out of the tree and into Manhattan.
Right, and now he lives, you know, in a shoebox.
Yeah, but it's
a very high fashion
Louis Vuitton bitch.
Right. All right, I have to share something with you that is just so stupid.
Okay. Are you going to play a video?
I am, but not right yet.
Okay.
So, you know, I've been watching, like, every Christmas movie I could get my eyeballs on, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I think I mentioned this before in here that my goal was to watch 100 Christmas movies before Christmas. I would say I'm pretty damn close to that already.
Because there's one day you watched, like, 4 in a row or something?
Yeah. Well, yes, because one day I watched not all, but I watched 4 Lacey Chabert Christmas movies.
Right.
And then the next day I watched 4 Jodie Sweetin Christmas movies. Because it's like, once you get in that rabbit hole, it's like, well, here's what's up next.
Yeah, and you're all,
it's like, oh, another Lacey Chabert movie where she plays the same character, but in a different situation? Okay.
I just, like, after every movie, though, you get more and more Christmas vibes. You're wearing a different top, and your hair is white and curled. You're wearing a bonnet, and it's
absolutely
plaid.
Well, so here's what happened.
Tell me.
Last night, I had a dream.
Great. You're dreaming now in
I'm
Christmas
dreaming
movies.
in a fucking Christmas movie. And I swear to God, my dream was a Christmas movie.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And it even had a title. It had a cast. It was crazy. My dream was called The Woman Who Loved Christmas.
Avi. What else would it be called?
So if you have a dream that has like a title, you've watched too much television.
Too many.
You need to maybe take a break.
No, you're doing great.
But the whole plot,
okay, tell me.
There was a plot, was that of course I was the star, but I was the woman who loved Christmas. Oh, all I wanted.
Wait a minute, crazy. I'm shocked.
All I wanted was a really traditional, like, Christmas that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy and all the things that you felt like as a child.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, traditional, bitch. Anymore. We're going to go cut down the tree. We're not going to have electricity. We're going to put candles on the tree. Okay, let's not get crazy. All right.
What I want, I guess traditional is not the right word. What I wanted was that feeling that you had as a child, the magic.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
However, there was a problem.
Okay.
There was this group of people that wanted to end Christmas.
Was I one of them?
You might have been.
Oh.
But they were sneaky.
Okay.
They sometimes dressed like Dickens carolers.
Okay.
But always in Christmas attire. But their whole thing was to end Christmas entirely for the world. Oh, they hated Christmas. They wanted Christmas to no longer be a thing.
Yeah. I love Christmas, but I would play that character.
I know you would. But I woke up laughing because I'm like, really, bitch? You have watched way too much Christmas stuff.
But these people who want to end Christmas don't want to do it with any kind of violence or any kind of extremism. Because in any of those movies, there's never actually anything. Like, there's no blood, there's no gore. The violence that happens is all off screen. And it's like, they're dead. And then everyone in the town mourns for days. And they choked on, like, a Christmas cookie or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I told you, I was watching one of, like, the Hallmark Christmas movies. And I said, ooh, suspenseful music, something bad's gonna happen. I'm like, no, it's not. The worst thing that's gonna happen is someone's gonna forget to put peppermint in their hot chocolate or what the fuck ever.
No, the worst thing that happens is in Act 3, and it's always in Act 3.
Okay.
That there's gonna be some conflict. There's gonna be a fight. There's gonna be, here's why we can't be together.
Right.
And it's always, it's generally a misunderstanding.
Of course.
That could easily be cleared up if you just spoke to each other.
No?
If you just said, what did you mean by that?
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry, is that guy that you're hugging up with, is that your boyfriend? No, that's my uncle. Yeah. Whatever. It's like, if you just ask the question, the whole situation would probably not be there.
Always just make assumptions.
Make assumptions and look through the window at somebody who's like, oh, she's hugging up on another man.
Oh my
Obviously,
God.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's like, God, you're stupid.
Obviously.
Ask a question. But that would ruin the movie. I mean, you couldn't have that moment of like, oh, this isn't going to work out, life's over, blah, blah, blah. And then in the fourth act, of course, they get together and they live happily ever after or whatever.
Right.
But But I will say, I want to recommend a couple Christmas movies.
Can't wait.
One of them I told you about the other day, which is the FX version of A Christmas Carol.
Oh, girl. I watched it.
Isn't it fantastic?
I was like 2 hours and 50 minutes, and then I was like, well, watch some of it. No, bitch, I watched all of it in one sitting.
Yeah.
Stunning. I was fucked up by it. Because there are parts in it that I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it is really well done. And there are a few parts specifically that are very upsetting. And yes. I wasn't expecting it. I did feel like Ebenezer Scrooge. I was all, something happened here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, honey, something happened. And the fact that they were so young. Like, Marley died at his grave says 47 years old. I was like, damn.
Well, and how about the fact that, and this is not a spoiler because you see it in the very opening scene, is that Bob Marley is actually laying in his coffin.
Alive.
He's dead, but he's absolutely aware of the fact that he's dead and in a coffin and in chains and can't go anywhere.
Well, he's not in chains quite yet.
Oh, right. But he can't do anything. He can't...
He's in a coffin,
Right, it's like you're buried alive because he's well aware of the fact that he's in a coffin underground forever. And it's like,
I do like
horrible.
That they showed you that. They showed Jacob Marley getting his chains. I like that because in so many Christmas Carol movies, you see him in chains. Yes. But I was always like, why?
Yeah, why is he in chains? But this one actually told you why he was in chains.
And it's like drama and spooky, but it's really, really good. Again, there are a few upsetting spots, so trigger warning or whatever.
Right.
But like, it's so good. Watch that.
Yeah, Guy Pearce stars in it.
Yeah.
I forgot that Andy Serkis was in it.
Yeah, I know. When I saw that, I was like, Gollum.
I know. What's Gollum doing in here?
Gollum.
But it was a 2019 movie made for FX, and now it's on Prime.
Yeah.
And there's different places you can probably find it.
And there's like, listen, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes long, but there are definite breaks that'll tell you part 2, so you can stop there and pick up later.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was also really pleased with the fact that the cast is a little more diverse than Christmas Carol ever is.
Very that. A lot of...
Because Mrs. Cratchit's black.
A lot of interracial.
Yay.
Yeah, right? And Tim Cratchit... Was that
Tim?
Yeah. He is actually he's like a little person.
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, actually.
Because I watched it when it came out, so I didn't watch it last year or this year. I'm going to probably watch it again, but it is intense.
Yeah, it's great though. I love it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought of all the ones I've seen, it kind of does the best job of explaining how we got where we are now with why Scrooge is an asshole.
Right.
And whatever. It's like, because there has to be a backstory.
Of course.
There's not just, well, I'm a miser and I hate people and I love money.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that could be, but
sure.
why?
But, what happened to you?
Yeah. Yeah. So watch that if you get the chance.
Wonderful.
And again, intense.
Yep.
I will say there are, if any kind of sexual assault kind of things, if that's going to be too triggering, don't watch it.
Yeah, and I want you to know that there's no actual, nothing seen, no sexual assault. Actually happens. It is spoken about in that it has happened.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the twists with Bob Cratchit's wife. Because I cannot remember her name.
I can't remember either.
Martha Cratchit?
Martha, that's it. It is.
Yeah.
Mary?
So, watch.
Yeah. So
Mrs.
good.
Cratchit.
Cratch lady.
Because when her little twist came along, I was like, oh, I love that.
Me too.
Yeah. So watch that.
Okay.
The other one is a brand new movie that I just watched that I loved. It was so cute and funny. Was called Dashing Through the Snow.
Okay.
It's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
So if you have Disney Plus, watch it. Ludacris is the star of it.
Yep.
He, by the way, is adorable.
Adorable. I always thought he was very attractive.
Yeah. But he plays this guy who does not like Christmas. He's all boo Christmas. I don't want anything to do with it. None of the magic of it. Nothing, because I don't believe in Christmas. I hate Santa Claus.
But what happened to you? That's the question.
Well, yeah.
Right?
But you find out pretty quick what happened to him and why he hates Christmas.
Okay. He died.
But here's the thing.
Yep.
He's a counselor.
Okay.
And he runs across Santa Claus stuck in a chimney. And of course, he just thinks, intruder.
Yeah, kill him.
Some asshole trying to sneak in through the chimney.
Yeah,
why the chimney? Whatever.
Yeah, Luda, get
And so he keeps trying to convince him that he's Santa Claus, and he's all, there's no Santa Claus. Try again. Mm-hmm. And so it's the whole night. He has to save Christmas, basically. This guy who doesn't believe in Christmas.
Great.
So it was very sweet and very cute.
Yeah.
And funny and warm and touching and all those good things.
All the things. Okay.
Yeah, all the things.
Wow.
But it's got, there's chase scenes and whatever. So it's fun and it's different. Yeah.
What did I just watch? I watched something that wasn't Christmassy at all, but I watched the Mario movie. You know Mario Brothers? Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah, the animated.
Yeah, it's very cute. I watched it because it was
John Leguizamo. No, he was mad about it.
He was mad about it, but it's very cute. It is cute. Here's the thing. I didn't see it in theater because I wasn't giving money to Christopher Pratt because I fucking hate Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
But I watched it. It is very cute, but Anya Taylor-Joy, whatever her fucking name is.
Who's in everything?
Everything. She's Princess Peach.
Okay.
Charlie Day, who you might not know.
I know who Charlie Day is.
He's Luigi. Jack Black is Bowser. And there's a lot of other little pretty big actors in it. But it's fun. It's really cute. I did enjoy it.
Does Jack Black actually sing the Princess Peach song in the movie?
Yeah.
So terrible.
I think it's just so cute to me.
Because the kids were playing it for me over and over, and I'm like, no.
But I love Jack Black, girl, and I love Tenacious D, and I love all of that, and I think he's a weirdo and hysterical. And I know that there are moments where he has been problematic. Shallow Hal, that movie, that entire program, awful. But I do like Jack Black.
Have you seen the Muppet movie that he's in? It was when the Muppets came back for the kind of branding of the franchise with the new Muppet movie.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to put on a show to save the theater, save the Muppets.
Yeah.
And they can't get a celebrity, so they kidnap Jack Black.
Okay.
And it's fucking hilarious.
Okay, yeah.
Because, really, he's just funny. And he plays Jack Black.
I love that. Well, one of my favorite movies where he just plays Jack Black is School of Rock.
Yes.
I love that movie.
Yes,
except if you looked at it through any sort of objective eyes, you would know he would be the one that you should stand against because he was lazy, he didn't pay rent, you know what I mean?
Right.
I love
User.
It. Yeah, he went in and pretended to be your friend as a teacher.
Yeah.
Like, you're a shitty human, but I love that movie.
Yeah. So we're actually talking about Christmas today, but I do need to take a little political moment here.
All right.
I am going to play a video, so obviously you'll only hear the audio.
But the video is probably not important as the audio.
It's not, because it's just a woman talking. I follow this woman on the Ticking Talk.
Okay.
North Omaha Cat Lady.
Okay.
And most of her, no, not most, a lot of her videos are just fun, because she starts out all of her videos with, sitting here getting my fat bitch on. Okay. Is how she starts all of them.
Love that.
And then she will talk about whatever she's going to talk about. In this particular one, she's talking about the atrocities that are happening in Gaza.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to play that, and hopefully it'll be, audible on the thing, but we're going to give that a shot.
There's a story coming out. It's on all the wires, and you can go look it up yourself. Al-Nasser Hospital in Gaza had a forced evacuation. You may have seen some of the earlier videos from them where they actually were showing people trying to leave. They had their hands up, they had white flags, and then somebody was shooting at them and they had to run back in. That was Al-Nasser Hospital. The staff was staying behind with their critical patients because you couldn't just pick them up and leave if they're connected to ventilators and IVs and oxygen and everything like that. They'll die without that support. So the staff was staying behind, trying to help these critical patients. And the IOF came in and said, you have 30 minutes to get out of here. Now, the ones that they could disconnect, they took with them. Some parents took their own children with them. And they ended up with a few kids left in the pediatric ICU that they could not disconnect. The doctors talked to a commander, the IOF, saying, we have to have ambulances. They were assured they would get ambulances. And they said, you can't get the ambulances up to the hospital because it's been bombed so badly, you're going to have to carry them out on stretchers. They need support. They need this. They need that. They need everything. They were assured, again, by the IOF that this would happen. They just got back into that hospital during the ceasefire. And there are literally the rotting corpses of these children who were left behind, who the IOF just didn't evacuate. You left the most vulnerable children, the sickest children, who couldn't be moved by the staff. The staff's being evacuated at gunpoint. And you assured them you would take care of these little ones. So they were in the dark with no support, with no one helping them. And they all perished.
So I'm going to stop it right there. That's most of it. That was the story that when I heard that the other day, I thought to myself, I don't care what side of this, if you're free Palestine or if you're pro-Israel or the idea that these babies died alone in the dark in a hospital because they were like, yeah, we're not going to do anything about that. That to me is the most horrific thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, the idea that they bombed a hospital for fuck's sake, and they said the reason they bombed this hospital was because they had intelligence that said that Hamas had headquarters in tunnels underneath the hospital. Mm-hmm. When they got down into these tunnels, there was no Hamas, there was no headquarters, there was no nothing. They could find nothing. Now they're saying, well, they probably already left. There was no sign that anyone had been in these tunnels.
Well, and the tunnels are the tunnels that Israel built.
Yeah.
Right? They were known.
Right, but
secret.
there was no sign that somebody had set up any kind of office or any kind of camp or any kind of anything in these tunnels. So they bombed this hospital for no reason, and innocent people died.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I keep hearing about this thing where people say, well, even in war, there are rules. Which I still have never been able to wrap my head around, the rules of war. But if your war or your plan of attack or whatever you want to call it is bombing a hospital or a school or a neighborhood, fuck off. You know?
Well, and what it really boils down to for me, I mean, is like, I will never stand or support anyone or anything that supports genocide or that gives money to or, you know, benefits from. I won't ever, not once. And that's baseline for me. And I was thinking about it, even if you think you believe that Israel has a right to defend itself, fine. Do you think these past 2 months of bombing, of one-sided war, of the killing of civilians and children and allowing children to die, children in the NICU just rotting, is all of that justified for the alleged October 12th Hamas attack? Like, is this justified? Like, this is how is this justified for this attack? And again, if you look at the casualties between Israel and Gaza, it's in-fucking-sane.
Well, and the other thing about this particular thing is the spin coming out of there was like, we got everybody out of the hospital, everybody got safe, blah, blah, blah. Nobody, a few people were killed in the initial bombing, but that's it. But then, of course, as people went back into the hospital, who are not in the media, who are not part of the propaganda machine, and they're filming what really happened, it's like, yeah, what you've said so far is bullshit. What you've said is to make yourself look like you're doing the right thing or you're doing whatever to save yourself and save your country. It's not like it used to be. It's not, you know, when World War II was happening, the government put out all these propaganda films that they would show actually in the theater before your main event movie, whatever you're watching. And it would be like, go America, here's why America's great, here's why the rest of the world sucks, or whatever. But it was all propaganda, and nobody really could say, well, that's not right. Because there wasn't the kind of press that there is now. There wasn't the access that there is now. Now, you can try it, but unfortunately for you, as you're telling your lies, there are people right there with their cameras going, yeah, no, this is what's really happening. And so it's harder to get away with genocide, with the murdering of babies, with whatever, because people are like, here's the truth. You know, and the fact that America just gave $14 billion to Israel.
Gross. I know.
You're giving money, though, to a country that, A, has free healthcare, free education. And
if you are Jewish, you can move to Israel.
Yes.
Full stop.
We're giving them money to kill other people. Yet, when people here say, hey, we need to figure out a solution for our houseless population. Nope. No, don't, blah, 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 you know, put fingers in the ears. And the other thing I was going to talk about is, there's full stop, that. But people also don't want to hear anything about climate change. And, you know, I follow that lady in Greenland, Q. Q's Greenland, if you want to find her. I watched for the first time a serious video, because most of her videos are like, here's why Greenland's great. Here's our people, here's this and that and the other, and talking about the education, you know, here's what you can learn about Greenland. What I learned yesterday is that there's a whole faction of people who make their living hunting. And they're up in the very northern parts of Greenland, and they hunt. So they hunt for their own food, but they also hunt to sell
yeah.
and to make their living.
Yeah.
They can't, because with the ice is not freezing up. There's so much more. There's so much. It's so much warmer that where they would normally have this frozen ice sheet, where they can go out and cross that, it's all water still, and it's too dangerous for them to go out, and so they can't even go out and hunt. So this is something that's been happening for thousands of years, and now it's like, well, it's gotten so much warmer with climate change that they can't.
Yeah.
So the fact that we in our government have people who are climate change deniers, who are mass shooting, deniers, who think it's like, but it's all there. Mm-hmm. It's like with this, there are people who are recording all of this and telling you these things are real.
Yep.
But it's like, those things don't make us money. So.
Well, and that's like so many issues, right? So we're getting first-hand ground account of people who are living in Gaza. And just average fucking people living in Gaza, living their lives with their families and trying to go to their jobs and, practice their religion and whatever. So we're getting that, and people are all like, oh, well, that's propaganda. Like, it isn't. Don't be fucking stupid. Do you see children losing limbs? Do you see children writing their names on their limbs in case they explode so someone can identify them? Like, this isn't fucking propaganda. But I don't know. If Israel was any other nation, if it was any other people, this would be unacceptable. Everyone would have stepped in. Every single fucking country would have been like, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
But it's not. And here's something, I talked about this recently online. The UN Security Council, which has 7 member states, 5 member states, there are several states that are on the Security Council permanently, and the U.S. is one of them. There was a call from the Security Council to call for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. Everyone voted for it. The United States vetoed it. The United States said, no, we're not going to send them aid. Just unequivocally. In a room full of fucking diplomats from the world, the United States is the only one who raised their hand to veto it. That's fucking insane to me. So now there is part of the charter that the people of UN, because the Security Council is a small portion, and then there's like the UN general people, right? Well, the general population of the UN can call for it's Article 377, which basically says, Security Council, you're not doing your fucking job. Because the whole point is to maintain peace and security in the world, right? They can call on them and say they're not doing their job and implement things anyway. And then they can call for a ceasefire. Here's the thing. If they can call for a ceasefire, it doesn't mean that Israel has to abide by it.
Right.
And so this is where it gets even more fucked up. Because so many nations, even nations that are a part of NATO that we ally with, are putting pressure on the U.S., are calling us out in other conferences, like in NATO conferences, and publicly, because we are not stepping in. And if we're the quote-unquote world superpower, we need to do something. Right. And there was talk of sanctioning Israel, which is comical to me because we have troops in Israel, one. And second of all, you are the one who is supplying Israel with the money. So
and the weapons.
And the weapons. And so you're going to sanction them? It just it doesn't make any sense. And the talking points from people who are pro-Israel are just stale and old and devoid of humanity. And I'm full stop. And be as pro as you want and make excuses. And if you belong to a group of people, whether that's racially or ethnically, or it's your religion or your culture or whatever, and you side with them, and you say, well, my people don't stand for this. My religion doesn't believe that we should genocide everyone, X, Y, and Z. But then I see those same fucking people doing it. I'm going to believe what they're doing over what you're fucking telling me. So I've seen people say well, Zionism is about unity and peace, and I'm like, is it? Because then what the fuck is Israel doing? Because that's not self-defense. That's literal extermination. And I just don't know how people aren't seeing it. And the fact that people are just so afraid to say anything about it is mind-numbing to me. I'm losing my faith in humanity just at the fact that so many people are quiet about it.
Yes.
And that so many people have nothing to say, or just like, well, I don't want to get into it. It's not my business. Like, anytime there's a genocide, it's your fucking business. Like, I don't know how this isn't, how people aren't screaming, but they are. And that's the thing, is like, I keep seeing on social media people saying, in 30 years, you will lie about saying you supported Gaza and Palestine when you supported Israel. Because at some point, your children will see you. The people around you will fucking see you. And if you haven't learned anything, the youth is way more leftist than we will ever be. They are more woke. They are more understanding. They are more empathetic.
Oh, yeah.
They want to change the world and bring about unity and peace and let everyone be free. And they're not going to let your ideologies of you get to take land because of an atrocity that you faced. But like, that's fucked up. The youth isn't going to settle for your colonial settler state. They're not going to settle for your colonization and your violence and your genocide. They're not going to stand for it, and they aren't. And here's the thing. Again, I keep talking about this because politics are huge in the United States. If we think that Arab Americans are going to vote Democrat, we're wrong. If we think they're going to vote for Joe Biden, we're wrong. If we think Islamic people are going to vote for Joe Biden, we're wrong. And this is a call to action for a lot of people, because white, liberal, queer people, white liberals in general, are going to be like, well, we have to vote blue. We have to vote blue. We have to vote Joe Biden because he's the lesser of two evils. But I'm telling you, and this is, look it up. Gen Z is not giving a fuck. Gen Z will vote for who they want to vote for, and they may not vote at all. And this is because time and time again, you show them that you fucking suck. Like, why Republicans and Democrats are the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At this point, you're the same thing. I don't care that one of them has pushed progress forever. You're accepting a genocide as status quo, and you can't shake that shit up. And paying for it. You are paying for it, and you are making money from it. Because how many of these people make money from Israel? A lot of them.
A lot.
And so it's gross to me. And it's just like, I hope this is the fall of the United States. I know that sounds fucked, but like, the ball's been in our court too long. We've had the power. We've had our boot on so many people's necks for so long. And I hope, I mean, it'll be a lot of destruction, but like, we should be afraid. The United States should be afraid of what will happen when we finally lose power.
Right. Because
what have we done to every other fucking nation? It'll be deserved, whatever we get. Do you know what I mean? As fucked up as that sounds, and as terrifying as it is, granted, I hope whoever decides to try and take the U.S. out understands that the U.S. population, most of it does not side with the U.S. government.
Right.
The population, what the people want, and what the government wants are two very different things.
Absolutely. Because what the government wants and what the government gets is generally sponsored by big corporations who are only interested in making money. They're not interested in what's best for the land, what's best for the water, what's best for the environment, what's best for the people. It's what's best for me as the CEO of some big corporation.
Yep.
What's best for our corporation? How are we going to continue making money? If everybody had to actually vote what their constituents wanted, it would be anti most of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and you know, one more little tidbit about all of this is people want to talk about like protesting doesn't work and boycotting doesn't work and nobody's listening. And I get that, right? But I do want you to know that yesterday there was a huge global blackout, right? So, and the people in Palestine asked for it. The journalists who are showing us every day. Don't shop, don't go to school, don't spend money, don't move the economy, don't work, right? And a lot of people I know called out. Gavin called out. I need to go grocery shopping and I didn't. You know, all the things I just didn't do. But Starbucks alone, who has been people are boycotting the fuck out of Starbucks. They've lost $12 billion. And that's billion with a B. Starbucks has lost $12 billion in the last 2 months because of the boycott. That's the power of boycotting. That's fucking huge. So don't let anyone tell you it doesn't work. Don't let anyone tell you how to do it. Like, if you're going to give your money to where it's important, don't give your money to establishments that support genocide. That support anything. Like we don't give our money to Chick-fil-A or Hobby Lobby, right? For their ugly ugly ideologies. We're not giving money to people who are fucking shitty who call for genocide, right? But it works. My point is it's all working. And I actually still held stock in Starbucks. And I saw this happening, and they had already lost a few $1 billion, and I sold all of my stock. Because I'm like, what's it going to be worth? And it'll go up eventually, sure. Maybe. But like...
Maybe.
I just sold all.
But why stay tied to it?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So...
I get that.
But yeah, so it is working. Keep protesting. Keep calling. Listen. I just graduated, but I emailed and called ASU because there was a dean who was posting a bunch of pro-Israel things. So I called them, and I called his office, and I called everyone, and I just made my voice heard. Sent email saying that I think that you just being unequivocally pro-Israel without nuance is fucked.
Right.
Also emailed our representatives. I also emailed and called the White House. So it's not hard to do. You can look it all up. It takes seconds to figure out.
Right.
And it is so easy. And you look up scripts online. Often you'll just get a recording anyway, so you leave a message. That's the easiest part. Be like, hi, my name is this, I live here, and I'm calling for immediate ceasefire. I urge you to call for immediate ceasefire. Like, it's so easy. But my point is, all of this shit is working. So I keep putting the pressure on.
Yeah, it's not fast.
But
it's not as obvious as whatever, but it does work.
And it's been pretty quick. It's been a little over 2 months, and look how much has happened. Granted, it isn't quick enough, because how many people have died? How many innocent people have died? And if one more person says, well, what about nothing? Okay? Tens of thousands of people have died.
If your action is far worse than, what you're reacting to, you're the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're, going, okay, well, so Annika did this horrible thing to me, so I'm going to do something terrible to her, whatever.
I'm going to invite her whole family over and blow up her house.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, so she did something terrible to me, so I'm going to kill her entire family and her neighborhood. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
See, that kind of thinking doesn't make sense to me. This small group did this horrible thing, so I'm going to kill everybody who's even known her.
Yeah, who's ever looked at her.
Yeah, it's like, what?
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's that thinking, it's that antiquated, war. But I learned in, I think, elementary school that war is big business.
Oh, big business, girl.
And there's never been a war that has lost money.
Right.
And it's like, that to me is gross.
Right.
It's like, so... we haven't had a war for a while. Let's have a war so we can...
And, for a while, what do you fucking mean?
Oh, I know. There's always a war somewhere.
Right, there's always a war. But, currently there are now 2... And I still feel so... It doesn't feel right to be calling Israel Palestine a war. It doesn't... It's not right because Gaza... Palestinians... The Palestine state, the Palestine government, they don't have a military. They have no navy. They have no air force. They have no army. They have none of it. They have the PLO or the Palestinian Liberation, whatever they are, PIL. It doesn't matter. But they have this small fighting force. But they're not...
It's the PLO.
Right, okay. But they're not an army of people.
No.
And they're going up against Israel,
Yeah,
which
much
is
like Hamas, it's a faction group.
Faction of people.
It's not the whole country.
No. And Gaza and the West Bank are both Palestinians, and they're ran by different people. So... when people are like, oh, Palestinians, nor, because Gazans are, their de facto government is Hamas. That isn't the same in the West Bank. But, so they're going against one of probably the number one military in the world, who is funded by everybody, who has the best whatever, keeps getting supplied with munitions. We see that as equal. We see that as, an equal battle.
Yeah.
That is, the biggest athlete who's, going to the Olympics... racing against the
fat kid,
right? And it's like the kid who who's not an athlete at all. It's so bonkers, and we're winning this war. It's not a war.
Well, it's a foot race between me and Usain Bolt.
Well, and I often exactly.
It's really. I mean, if you think about it, it's about that uneven.
Flash Gordon,
the old fat lady,
and Flash Gordon, bitch.
Right.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me, and it's not equivalent, literally at all. It's not equivalent.
No.
So, and I try not to call it. I like to refer to it as Palestine, right? And the occupied land of Israel, right? It's Palestine. But Israel's occupying part of it. That's how I feel about it. Because it's Palestine. You know what I mean? Sorry, it's Palestine. But
right.
Anyway, How many more minutes do we have?
Oh, about 10.
Oh.
But, you know, it was that...
Merry Christmas.
You know, and I hate to go, because obviously we're being very serious, and because this is a very important topic, and it's a very happening now in the world, and a lot of people don't know.
Yep.
And I'm going to say, as a rule, I am not the person in the know for a lot of things, because I don't watch the news. But with this particular topic, I have been staying on top of what's happening, because it is important. It's, you know, and at the same time, you see all this other chatter going on about nonsensical things that don't matter.
Yeah.
It's like, here's what's happening in Donald Trump's trial. Who the fuck cares? Because, you know, that piece of shit's never going to go to jail.
Yep.
You know, all of the people around him will, but he won't, because he's untouchable.
Nope.
Because he's rich and he's got something. He's got something on someone that's keeping his ass out of jail. You know, but it's like all of that. I don't care. No, I care about the fact that there's really fucked up stuff going on in the world.
Really fucked up. Yeah.
So, but I do want to, you know, take a hard left here.
Yeah.
And, you know, for our last 10 minutes, talk about something happy.
Okay.
Because I would like to talk about Christmas.
I don't like Christmas.
Just
kidding.
No, because you were
it.
part of the group that was trying to kill Christmas.
We will. Next time I'll...
And
I'll
Starbucks, of course, when they put out non-Christian cups, it's the war on Christmas.
What's so funny to me is, when did they put out a Christian cup? When did they put, like, Jesus or a cross on a cup? Literally never once, not ever.
But, you know, it's like if you have some generic cup that's obviously not specifically Christmas, it's the war on Christmas. By the way, that's another thing that kills me, is the war on Christmas. Because people say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas. What I think is hilarious is I saw a thing the other day, because it's so accurate. Yeah. Is I saw this thing the other day where someone, it's the girl who does the Starbucks videos, where somebody came in and whatever, she was like, okay, Happy Holidays, and they were like, it's Merry Christmas. And it's like, well, I say Happy Holidays because I want to be inclusive of everyone who celebrates anything in this time period. Well, by you being inclusive, you're, you know, excluding me because No. That's just it.
No.
Is I'm including everyone.
Well,
and you know what? Your thing is not the only thing.
Well, and do you know what's so funny is that Puritans in early days of America hated Christmas. They hated it when in England because they thought
it was pagan.
Yeah, well, they also thought it was gaudy. Well, in that point, too, it wasn't. When Puritans got here, like... Christmas has been fully
but it was based on
but also they thought it was baudy and annoying and gaudy, and they hated Christmas carols, and so it was, you could not say Merry Christmas, you had to say Happy Holidays, which is so it's funny when people say, like, oh, the war, it's Christians, the war on Christmas, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but you're Puritans, motherfucker, who came over here, who are like, this is a Puritan nation, ma'am. They're the ones who hated Christmas. Yeah. You stole Christmas, and we hate that you did that. But, like, we don't hate Christmas. Shut up.
No. I know.
I love it. Like, I love Christmas. I love everything about it. Honestly. There are things that could be, we could reel it back a little bit. I don't think children need 50 gifts a fucking child. I don't think children need half the things they have. But that's just me.
Well, actually, it's not just you. Because there has been a movement with a lot of people to kind of scale that back. And one of my friends said something that they did with their child, which I love this, was they broke it down into this. It was something they want, something they need, something they wear, something they read.
Oh, love that.
So it's like, you know, a book, pajamas, a present that is something they can actually use, and something that's fun.
Yeah.
So 4 things.
Easy.
Not a stack of things a mile high.
Yeah.
And so I know for us that it became a thing where my children didn't appreciate what they were getting, and it would just sit there. Yeah. We had 1 year where there was a pile of presents that they opened them and stacked them back up under the tree, which is what I always ask them to do for that morning so that there's not crap all over the house. But they didn't move from there. And I was all, what's happening here? And it was like, they just, you know, it's like, well, we have all this stuff, who cares? Yeah. And so I was like, okay, there's my lesson learned.
Yeah, right.
And so what I started doing was doing experiences. Yeah. Like taking them to a show or going to something fun, but it was something that they could do. Like last year we did cooking classes for them.
Oh, right.
You know, it's like different things where it's like you're actually experiencing something that you will do, and you'll use up that thing.
Yep.
And it'll be whatever. Because I heard someone else refer to it as disappearing gifts.
Yep.
Because once you've used it, it's gone, but then it's just in your memory or whatever.
Yeah.
So I find that to be a much more
Yeah.
effective thing.
Yeah, I get that.
Because really, I could buy them whatever, and it'll sit there.
Yep.
Collect dust.
Agreed. I know. So, I mean, I love the decorating. Because I have decorations all over my, like, living room area. Gavin and I, last year at his apartment, we had garland and we cut out snowflakes and we put them all over the wall. So we saved them and we have those all over. I have, like, classic, you know those? It would be like a wreath, right? But it was like that weird tissue paper that would like fold out. Do you know what I'm talking about? So I have a couple of those that I got from Old Man Chris. I have a Santa and I have a wreath. I have candles everywhere that smell like Christmas. My Christmas tree is all decorated and lit up. My windows have lights in them. Like, I love it. I love Christmas movies. I will watch... If I'm having a bad day, usually I'll put on one of my comfort shows. But often I'll watch the holiday episodes. Whether that's Halloween or Christmas, I watch the holiday episodes because they make me feel better. But I love Christmas. And I've had very horrible Christmases. Mostly as a child.
Oh, yeah.
Which is when you shouldn't have horrible Christmases. And even through all of that, though, I still love it. I still love gift giving. I still love receiving gifts. I love when it snows, and I told you, because I'm all graduated, I don't have to work at Starbucks, I really have nothing going on, I'm ready for it to snow. I want it to snow now, and I want it to snow buckets for days. Why? Because I've never been able, as an adult, to experience the snow without the fear of, like, you have to wake up at 4 in the morning and try and drive to work. You know what I mean? So it's exciting to me.
Yeah. So the year that Grace was born...
Yeah.
I went to Disneyland with my husband and a couple friends.
Right.
And... being there the week between Christmas and New Year's, one, it's so chaotic and very busy.
Yeah.
But there were some really cool things, too. Like, they used to have this thing called the Big Thunder Ranch, which was by Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
But Thunder Mountain's not Big Thunder Mountain. By Thunder Mountain, right across from it, basically, there was this, what they call Big Thunder Ranch, which is where they would have, like, barbecue and different things. But they would have special events there. Okay. And when we went, Santa and Mrs. Claus were there with the reindeer.
Cute.
So that you could go and actually see what a real reindeer looks like. So here was the thing I didn't know. Reindeer are tiny.
Are they?
They are tiny. The ones you see in movies are usually caribou.
Okay.
They're not reindeer.
Right.
Reindeer are not... They're about the size of a large dog. They came up... Yeah, their height is about hip level.
Like loquacious.
Kind of, yeah.
Wow.
But they're little.
Comparatively to other antlered animals, yeah.
Yeah. They're literally probably 3 feet high.
Weird.
Yeah, and they're adorable.
Guessed. I bet.
But one of the things we did, I was sitting with Mrs. Claus, watching the show, and talking to her, and I asked her, I said, so... what, I don't think I've ever known what Mrs. Claus's first name is. Mm-hmm. And she said to me, I just thought that was the cutest thing. She goes, oh, yeah, I don't tell that to anybody. That's a secret between me and Santa.
I love it!
And I was like, okay, so just Mrs. Claus?
Yeah.
All right. You're very traditional.
Yeah, I love it.
I know. It was very cute and sweet. I thought that was very funny.
I love it.
But for me, my favorite part of Christmas is Santa Claus. Really? I love Santa Claus. Okay. I love the whole idea of it.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you...
Sure.
Because I remember very clearly when my belief in Santa Claus changed. Mm. Were you a big believer in Santa Claus as a child?
Listen, I always believed in everything, right? Because it's in kind of how I am now, but just more magical, right? I just believed, of course I believed in Santa, and I believed, but all these things that we were taught to believe in, I truly wanted to believe. It's the same feeling to me as like I really wanted to be religious because I wanted the mystery, I wanted the ritual, whatever. But there's a part of me that I didn't believe in Santa ever, and I didn't believe in like the Easter Bunny ever in the same way I didn't believe in God, because again, why would I be in said situation that's supposed to, especially during times that are supposed to be happy and joyous and of thanks, and I didn't experience that, so I didn't in my heart of hearts, it's the same way that I always thought, like, there has to be more to life than this. That was, like, my motto, right? Like, there has to be more to life. Like, my life can't just be small town USA being abused, right? It has to be more. And I knew there was more. So I knew that, I knew that Santa, there was something. There was magic, right?
Yeah.
But I just never got to experience that magic.
Interesting. Whereas I kind of was the other way. I wholeheartedly believed. And I had some experiences that made it feel like, oh, God, it has to be real.
Yeah.
Like, we had one particularly rough Christmas where there was nothing under our tree because my stepfather had left again. And so it was just my mother who didn't have a job outside the home.
Yeah.
She was busy raising 6 children. Where's she going to go?
Yeah.
You know? And literally Christmas Eve, there's nothing under the tree. And then Christmas morning, we get up, and there's presents there. And I was all...
Weird, yeah.
Because as a rule, we would have presents that would sit under the tree for, like, the week before.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, whoa. So Santa is real. Santa brought presents and whatever. And it wasn't literally until I was 10, and my sister was like, Santa's not real. And then had to tell me, all the reasons, and here's how I know, and here's whatever. And it's like, and I can't believe you still believe.
Yeah.
My children still believe.
Yeah.
And they're 13 and almost 15. And...
But we talked about this. Do they believe thinking that?
I don't know.
Right.
But literally, Grace said to me the other day, she goes, oh, God, I forgot to ask Santa Claus for this and this. Because when I saw him, because when we went and had our picture taken with Santa.
Oh, right, yeah.
She's like, I asked him for headphones, but I forgot to ask him for this other thing I want. And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, now, I'm curious to know. I was like, well, that's not... That guy is one of, as Parker told me years ago, that these people are all just Santa's helpers. They're not Santa.
Sure.
And she goes, I know, but they get the message back to Santa.
I love it.
And I was like, I love that.
Me too.
It's like the year that Parker told me, it's like, there's not just one Santa Claus. And I was like, okay, where are we going with this? And he said, Mom.
Duh.
If there was only one Santa, they could never get to all the places in one night. So there are Santas all over the world.
No. Do you know what's so funny to me is how he has the capability of understanding magic, but then it's like, there has to be multiple flying around and delivering presents to all the children, because it couldn't be one guy, because that would be magic. Like, my belief is, it is one guy, and he's witchcraft, and he has the time turner.
The time turner from Harry Potter. Yeah.
And so, what's funny is I think growing up in the 90s, having older siblings and older cousins, I was probably told early that Santa doesn't exist. I don't really remember, but I didn't believe anybody anyway when they said things to me for the most part.
Sure.
I wasn't a super gullible kid. You know what I mean? I just didn't believe my siblings. I didn't really believe my cousins.
Well, fair.
And so I still believe that these things existed. I just thought, in what capacity can they exist if this is the life that I see?
Yeah, it's fair.
It was
all
all
very
very about me.
Yeah.
I made it about me. Sorry, Santa.
It is interesting to me also, though, the different, how different families and different, even cultures have different traditions around Christmas. Some people strictly open their presents and do all the things on Christmas Eve.
That's a lot of
Christmas
Mexican culture.
Day is for feasting,
Yeah.
and for just spending time with family.
Yeah.
Whatever. I was like, as a child, if we were really good, we got to open one present on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
But we always opened the mass of our presents on Christmas Day.
Same. But I know in a lot of Mexican and Latino culture, Christmas Eve is the big day.
Yeah.
You get together with your family, you eat food, you stay up all night, you open presents. And I think, when I first learned that as a kid, because, our neighbors, Julio, remember next door, and I played with their kids. As a kid, I was always like, but how does Santa come if you're awake? Do you know what I mean? How does Santa come if you're, awake sitting there opening other presents? That doesn't make any sense to me. But then Christmas Day, they still hang out. You know what I mean? Or it's they'll go to Christmas Eve and have their giant extended family Christmas, and then Christmas Day stay with the family.
Right.
Whatever. I just remember doing it how you did it. If we were good, we could open one on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas morning we opened our stockings, and stockings were filled overnight.
Yeah.
too. I remember thinking that was like, I didn't hear sleeping in the living room. I didn't hear anyone come through here. So it is magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People say it's a parent. Not these fat-footed motherfuckers. I didn't hear any of them. It had to have been Santa.
These fools can't do anything quiet.
No, So,
The other thing I think is funny, I have friends who will get up at midnight.
Yeah.
And then open presents. And then go back to bed.
I think that's cute.
And I was like, but that was their family tradition.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I just think, I love that everybody kind of feels free to do their own kind of thing.
Agreed.
I love that.
Well, and this year it's going to be wonky because
you won't be here.
Right. And so we're going to go to LA and have Christmas with Gavin's dad and brothers and their wives.
Glad you're going to see their.
Thank you much. And then we come back on Monday, which is Grace's. No, we come back on Tuesday, which is Grace's birthday, the day after Christmas. And then I think Gavin and I will do our presents that day. And then on Thursday, family dinner was when we're having our family Christmas. So I have like 3 separate little Christmases, but good times.
I do like stretching out Christmas.
As much as possible.
Oh, it's like more gifts? I'll take it.
I know. You know, January 1st, it's my birthday, so.
Yeah.
My birthday's at the end of the month, but starting January 1st.
January 1, it's Annika's birthday month.
I know.
And,
exciting.
You know, I've said on here many times how old you are, but, you know, I will not say it today.
I'm going to be 35. It's fine. I still feel 34.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're not feeling 35 yet.
I know. Old.
Well, and on that note, we really got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, I was, like, trying to just, like, keep it mostly about Christmas, but I did have to share, you know, some serious stuff.
Well, and you can't talk about that without me being like, hey, here's my opinion.
Here is me knowing everything about everything, and I will share that with you.
Because in case you know, I'm graduated now, so I'm a genius.
I know. So now Super Genius knows everything about everything, and it's going to tell you.
Yeah, so now if anyone wants any more information from me regarding certain topics, you're going to have to pay me. You know what I mean? Because I'm an expert.
Right. Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
Are you sure you're not Van Patten by blood?
Ooh, bitch. Woo, bitch. It's hateful.
All right, so listen. We're going to go.
Yeah.
And next week is our 100th episode.
100.
I know. Crazy.
I know, girl.
And so, no one's written me anything about what we should talk about for 100. So, come on, people. Tippity tap on your little computer board.
Tippity and tappity on it.
Yeah,
you know what? We should just talk bad about people we know.
Oh, there you go.
We'll just have a shit talking episode. And people we love, hold dear, be like, that fucking bitch.
You know,
Mary
I used to like her,
Christmas.
but
I know.
What a bitch.
Hater. I know. I feel like it's a good idea.
I love it.
Anyway, get out.
So, if you want to send us those emails, even if you don't, do it anyway. Good job there.
Thank
you. It would seem as though at gmail.com. And we're here every week. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. And we'll be back next week.
Okay, bye.
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 It would seem as though.